Hey, hey, hey. What is up, everybody? Yeah, it looks like we don't, probably the office hours is not going to be that much because there's obviously we're in between units right now, right? So most likely we're looking at not as much of a necessary office hours kind of situation today, which is fine. What's up, everybody? So we got potentially to do some speed bridging if people can get on board. Remember, we're going to try to do a minimum of 5 people to do the threshold for an Olympic event. What's up, Onslaught? I see Mr. Chang and Onslaught both in YouTube. And Arya is in YouTube. And it looks like I see most other people in Twitch. I see G Louise, Nathan, Nate the Great, T-Dub. I see Ashi. I see Nathan. And Akash. And then Mousepillow coming in from YouTube. Where is Jameson? He's sleeping. I always put him into his crate around this time so that I can stream without being disturbed. And then he usually comes out about 9 o'clock. So he gets like 2.5 hours of sleep in the afternoon. Mr. Chang, dual viewing, doubling up that view. Wait, what, T-Dub? Doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't be able to... Let me look. Let me double check and make sure. Mr. Chang, you are pervasive. You are all knowing. You are all present, ever present. Let me see. Actually, what I should do, 1 second. Let's copy. This is kind of messed up. Okay, I'm just trying to test out different setups here. I always don't have maybe something like that. Okay. Wait, if I change this, let me stream 1 second. If I expand that, okay, there we go. Nathan, on Monday during the exam, was Jameson around you? I saw something moving in the background, so I was wondering. I don't remember. It's possible. Possible. Monday would have been 7th period. I don't remember. It's possible, but I don't remember 100%. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that happened, T-Dub. He might be in the background today. It depends. I think probably not tonight. Depends if he wakes up or not. Sometimes he's not super energetic at this time of night. Because what I do, so my normal schedule with him is like after I'm done teaching around 3:30, 4 o'clock, I go and we do a little bit of, I take him on a walk. We can do a little bit of exercise, a little training for a couple hours. And then I try and make him sleep starting around like 6:30, sleep for a couple hours, and then wake up around 9, and then hang out for a little bit, and then go back to bed for the night. If we go back to school, we don't see Jamison. Well, so here's okay. So has everyone like heard about what's going on with the back to school stuff? Like, does everyone understand what the situation is? Do we need to talk about it a little bit? Because it's news dropped yesterday about exactly what is going on. And the news is pretty crazy. Not crazy, but it's news. Yeah, so just to summarize, it looks like some of you I kind of already know, but if you're not 100% sure, what's going to happen is on April 19th, beginning April 19th, there is an opt-in situation for returning to in-person learning, right? So what that's going to mean is that teachers will be on campus teaching. This is now that the specifics of it have not been ironed out, but there is some sort of opt-in starting on April 19th. That is the idea. So you don't have to come in if you don't want to, but it's completely up to you and your parents on that decision. But it is going to be a potential like hybrid style of learning. Now, what is exactly that going to look like? There's like two different ways it might look. So the first one is like you can imagine a scenario where you have whoever. So imagine, let's just take it from like a one period's verse view. So imagine like there's a period of biology, right? And let's say of the 30 people in that class, 10 opt in. Those 10 will come into school and they will be in the class, socially distanced seating with me. Let's say it's me, like my class. I'll be in there. And then the other, the other 20 students will be on Zoom. And so I'll be teaching that. This is one option. This is not saying this is exactly how it's going to be, but this is one option. So I would be teaching to both the Zoomers and the in-personers, right? So I'm basically teaching and I have two things that I'm dealing with, right? Zoom people and in-class people. Now, let's say there's more than 15 people that opt in for one period. That becomes problematic because you have to maintain 6 feet distance within the classroom, and any more than about 15 students in a classroom infringes on that 6 social distancing. So then you would need to have then some students would come in one day and then the others would stay at home and then they would switch the next time. That's another option for hybrid learning. First come, first serve for in-person classes. I don't know how. So I did a little. We did a little survey. No, I didn't. But so this morning I wasn't able to be an advisor because I was on an interview panel for a position in the district that I was helping interview for. I wasn't interviewing. I was on the panel. I was helping decide. But my students went to Miss Bonna's class for advisory, and she asked them a question about, would you want to do opt-in learning, or excuse me, would you want to do in-person learning, or would you rather stay remote learning? And I was reading over the responses, and far and away, most students, like 95% of students, are saying they would rather stay remote. And the reasons are quite broad. Most of the reasons are it's too much of a hassle to try and change now. The amount of time that's left isn't significant enough for it to be really that important. Other things I saw was what else did I see? Oh, I saw things at this point, it's still not safe. None of the students will be vaccinated. Not even all the teachers potentially will be vaccinated at that point. Or things like, I have people at home that are, in high risk categories. What's up, Emilian? Emilian, I have not seen you in a while, man. I see you both on YouTube and Twitch. You got my attention. Double time. How's it been? It's been a while since I've seen you. How's remote learning been treating you? Hope it's been good. Ahana, what's up? I see you too. Nice to see you. Yeah, so I don't know. It seemed to me, so I'm trying to think of this, why. So ultimately, right, the reason you would go back to in-person learning at all is if it's going to benefit students, right? Because that's the point of school, is to benefit the students, okay? Bottom line, any decision that you make, you should ultimately be able to trace it back to the benefit of the student, whether it's social benefit, mental benefit, educational benefit, right? Extracurricular benefit. It's got to be some sort of benefit that you can tie directly back to the student, right? So if we go back to in-person learning, it has to be connected to student well-being. Nope, I'll take care of this guy. So when you think about the choice to go back to in-person learning, so the fact that we might be returning to in-person learning, to me, I'm having a hard time drawing the connection between that choice and the actual benefit that the students are going to receive. What's up, Chaos Ninja? Biggest regrets in life and how to avoid them. Oh man. One of the things that I feel like with regrets in life, or most of the things that you learn in life that are really, really important, the unfortunate thing about most of them is that no matter what someone tells you, you have to experience them yourself. So I can sit here and tell you about all the things that I would have done different when I was younger. But the matter of fact is, I think about myself when I was younger, and if someone told me about it, even myself, now, my 34-year-old self, if it were to go back to my 16-year-old self and be like, hey, bro, here's what you need to do. This, and this. I'm not talking about stupid future stuff, invest in this stock or that kind of dumb stuff. I'm talking about life lessons. You know what you need to do? You need to, push yourself more to do things that are out of your comfort zone. You should, invest more in your relationships. You should, these kinds of things. My younger self probably would have just looked at him and be like, you don't know, dude. you're wrong. Like, I don't even know if I would have like believed it, unfortunately. So I think a lot of life is based off your experience. You have to actually like go through something to really understand the value of it. Like, someone can tell you all they want, but it's just words. That's not always true. I think there are some things that if someone just, tells you, it can help, but I think most things it's like, yeah, the problem is that life, there is no cheat code, I think, for life. There's no like shortcuts. Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's true. Like, if life was as easy as just reading about what to do, then there would already be a book. Like, there would someone would have already written like the perfect book that you could just read and you would be like, all right, I got the life that I need. Figured it out. But it just goes to show there's so many books out there, so many self-help books, so many like different things, and none of them really are that great. I mean, they're a little bit insightful. They can help you maybe a little bit, but ultimately it's about, you have to just, I think oftentimes people think of regret as a bad thing. I think oftentimes regret is regret is sometimes just like another way of saying that you learned a lesson, right? Because regret is something that you wish you had done or wish you hadn't done, which is often just, that means you learned something because you should do something differently next time. So Ahane, is there even a point to going back to school and attending class on Zoom than just staying at your home? Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, I've thought through as many angles as I can to the whole going back, and I'm just trying to figure out like, how is this going to help students? From my experience, just asking students and seeing some responses, the vast majority of students just don't want to go back. Their preference is not to go back. But then again, you can't always believe a student's preference, because a lot of students might just want to stay at home because it's easier, it's lazier, it's less work. And so therefore it's not in their own self-interest, right? They might not know what's actually good for them. That's like a possibility. What's up, Erebus? And then the other thought is, okay, is there any possible way that like this is going to benefit students? Like, so how could it benefit students? One, are students going to get better instruction? And the answer, as far as I'm aware, is no, because there's still students that are on Zoom. So you still have to teach to Zoom. So so all that is now the person is sitting in front of you rather than through a screen. So the instruction is not going to be any better, right? Is the social, emotional side going to be better? Are students going to be able to like get back with social groups better and have that kind of aspect? And the answer is probably no, because of 6 foot distancing. They're not vaccinated. Masks are going to be required. Okay. Well, what about extracurriculars? Well, extracurriculars are already up and running regardless of in-person learning. So those are already kind of happening in their own regard. It's not going to change whether we go back to in-person learning or not. Okay. What about mental health? Like, psychologically, is this going to be help students to be back in person? Is that going to give them anything at all, like, beneficial? Maybe it's like, okay, they're like, it feels like things are back to normal. They're getting out of their house. I could see a little bit of an argument there. But it seems minor compared to the downsides. The downsides of potential viruses being transmitted. Still, it's a possibility. Bringing like students transmitting to each other, bringing home to their families, to people that are more in high risk groups. 2, it's a lot more work for everybody involved to set up classrooms so that they're hygienic and that they're effective in terms of keeping people socially distanced. I don't know. I've been thinking about this, and I have not figured out a good reason at a student level. I worry that it's mostly the driving factor here is mostly financial, because the district gets. We did the math yesterday on stream, right? So if you look at it, like, what was the math? I think it came out to like the district's going to get $2.8 million when they open on April 19th. If they stay open through the rest of the year, they get 2.8 million, which if you spread that out across the students, you know, I guess that's beneficial for the district. I don't know. Ashi, yeah, you could ask questions. Go for it. It's like Emilian's getting some help in the chat about what his major should be or what he wants to do in college. Aerospace engineering. Nice. All right. Bye, Ahana. Thanks for stopping in. Why is there a ring on my zipper? I don't know. Just the way it is. Is college even worth it though? Emilian, yes, college is still worth it. It is a financial burden, but it's still, I mean, for the vast majority of majors, having a college degree is going to increase your earnings, like quite a bit. So like here's like an example, right? So if you look at this one, so this is from Bureau of Labor Statistics. So this is median weekly earnings by education. This was in the second quarter of 2020, right? So if you look at the earnings by education. So if you don't have, this is, can I make this a little bigger? It's kind of small. There we go. All right. Quartiles and selected deciles of usual weekly earnings of full-time wage and salary workers 25 years and over by educational attainment. Right, so you can see as you go from less than a high school degree all up to bachelor's, this is just bachelor's or higher, they don't have anything more. It's pretty obvious that your earnings increase. This is weekly, right? What does it say? Average weekly. So I don't know why they chose to do weekly. Also, I don't know what this even means. First decile. What does that mean? Oh, this is the top. Oh, I see. Okay. This is the bottom 10%. This is the top 10% of the earners. So, oh, that makes sense. Okay. So basically, if you have less than a high school degree, then the bottom 10% make about 400 a week. The top 10% make about 1,200 a week. The interesting thing here is there's still some overlap, right? So they're the top 10% of people that have the top 10% of people who have less than a high school diploma make more on average than the bottom 10% of people who have a bachelor's. Right? So even if you don't have a high school degree, you can still end up making more than somebody who has a bachelor's, right? There's overlap there. But you'll notice that the top 10% does not make more than the top 75%. So falls off pretty quick. Now, of course, It depends on the major. Some majors make more than others, so you have to look at that. You have to consider that. But on average, right, you make more money if it's your earnings are substantially higher. If the removal of Helicobacter pylori increases acidity, then why would the presence of that bacteria cause ulcers? So let's look that up. Let's remember Helicobacter pylori and ulcers. Erebus, if we do return to in-person school and sign up for it, is it most likely that we will return for all 5 days of the week or only a few days, because it seemed it was hybrid? So when it said hybrid, it means that some will be on Zoom and some will be in person. So when you return, you will not return for all 5 days. Well, you would return. Well, I actually don't think we have that ironed out quite yet. So for example, like, it's totally possible that if not enough people return, you could end up with being like, you could end up in every class in person if you did. But if a lot of people opt to return, there's a limit to the number of students that can be in class. And so if enough people opt in, then you wouldn't be able to come to school every day. You'd have to alternate with other people, and then you would be at home some days, in school other days. But if the number is really low of people that opt in, then that small number can come to school every day. That might happen too. But again, we don't know 100%. It's kind of vague right now because we don't know the numbers. We don't know exactly how it's going to work. Okay, so when you have Helicobacter pylori, it can damage the protective lining of your stomach and your small intestine. This can allow stomach acid to create an open sore. About 10% of people who have this will develop an ulcer. Your question was basically about so the reason why Helicobacter pylori causes, actually, you know what? I don't like Mayo Clinic too much. I actually prefer, Wikipedia's usually got a way better source of just general information, if we're being honest. All right, so basically, Helicobacter pylori harms the stomach and duodenal linings by several mechanisms. The ammonia produced to regulate pH is toxic to the epithelial cells, as are the biochemicals produced by pylori, such as the proteases, which break down proteins, some other cytotoxins. These damage it. But wait, why did you think that the removal increases acidity? Where did it say that the removal increases acidity? I don't know where it said that. Yeah, no, Emilian, T-Dub is right. You don't, if it's a financial aid, is not something you have to pay back unless it's stipulated in the aid, but then it wouldn't really be financial aid because it's just a regular loan at that point. Now, there are some things where if you don't do, so for example, there's some forms of financial aid. So like when I was getting my credential to become a teacher, one of the financial aid I could receive had a stipulation attached to it where it was like, okay, we'll give you $20,000, or it wasn't 20. It was like, we'll give you $10,000 for your credential. However, in order for this $10,000 to be free of charge, like you don't have to pay it back, you must teach at like an underprivileged school for the first 2 years after your credential. And if you didn't, then you had to pay the money back. So like there is a possible stipulation on some financial aid, but typically financial aid is literal money that they're just giving you as long as you qualify, which is different than a loan, right? Where a loan you have to pay back interest, and unfortunately with student loans, those are the only kinds of loans that are not forgivable, right? Like you can't even if you declare bankruptcy, you can't your student loan still stays with you. Student loans are pretty rough. But if you stick through it and you get a good degree, you can usually pay back your student loans relatively quickly. Just be very, very aware of like where you're getting an education from. Is the amount you're paying for your education like worthwhile? Are you going to be able to get a job that's going to allow you to pay that back in a reasonable amount of time, etc. I'm trying to figure this out, Ashi. I'm not really 100% sure where. Does Helicobacter pylori Oh, you said it's in the video lecture. Oh, okay. 1 second. Video lecture. All right. So it says eradication of H. pylori increases acidity and the risk of esophageal disease. I wonder if there's something that
call it stress. So,
And that NSAIDs is actually non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, things like Tylenol.
as you can see, essentially what it is just an open source hydrochloric acid cause here called Helicobacter pylori. And you can get rid of it. And then when it does, it increases the acidity and the risk of esophageal diseases. Other causes of ulcers include NSAIDs.
Well, okay, they don't really talk about it. I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that this bacteria, if we look back here, it's talked about it has like it's adapted to a high acidity environment, obviously because it lives in the stomach. Later, Mr. Chang. Enjoy your dinner. All right, here's something, right? So it says, in addition to using chemotaxis to avoid areas of low pH, Helicobacter pylori also neutralizes the acid in its environment by producing large amounts of urease, which breaks down the urea present in the stomach to carbon dioxide and ammonium. These react with strong acids in the environment to produce a neutralized area around Helicobacter pylori. Okay, so it seems like because this bacteria is attempting to lower the pH around itself in the stomach to help it survive, it releases an enzyme that digests some of the urea, which I guess lowers the pH. What's up, Unagi? Because it says it neutralizes the acid, right, by producing large amounts of urease, which breaks down the... So this should increase the pH. Oh yeah, increase the pH. You're right. Sorry, Unagi, I misspoke. Should increase the pH, but I don't really understand the connection between urea and pH. There must be some connection there. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay. So the bacteria releases this enzyme, urease, which breaks down urea into carbon dioxide and ammonium. These products then react with the hydrochloric acids in the stomach and neutralize them, which allows the bacteria to survive. So I would imagine, ammonia is slightly basic. So I would imagine that the more Helicobacter pylori you have in your stomach, the more urease is released, the more it produces carbon dioxide and ammonia, the more it neutralizes the acids, which decreases the acidity of your stomach, right? Or makes the stomach a little more basic. That decrease in acidity probably leads to an effect of a decrease in something like an ulcer, because now you don't have as much acidity causing the ulcer. And so if you remove the bacteria, now all of a sudden your acidity goes up, right? Your pH gets closer gets lower, right? And that can lead to an increase in ulcers. Does that make sense, Ashi? I would think that that's the answer we were looking for there, according to your question. Actually, here's a nice little diagram. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like the bacteria creates a little neutralized buffer zone around it so that it's not in an acidic environment. And the way it does that is this urease enzyme that produces carbon dioxide and ammonia and then leads to a neutralization of the area around there. Tim, what's up? Which structure, the cecum or the appendix, is vestigial in humans? Explain your answer. I was going to say straight from the worksheet, like you wouldn't phrase it that way. The appendix is not vestigial. Arya, nice guess, Arya, but the appendix actually does have a function. So if you look at the appendix the appendix is a reservoir of bacteria. Yeah, exactly, Akash. It holds beneficial bacteria that can repopulate your intestinal tract during, like, let's say you get sick or something, right? And you have like something that happens to your interior gut flora, like the bacteria in your gut that are beneficial, and they get removed or they get diminished. Your appendix, right, contains that. The appendix used to be considered a vestigial organ, but this view has changed over the past decade. Recent research suggests that the appendix may serve an important purpose. In particular, it may serve as a reservoir for beneficial gut bacteria. Pass 434. It's the cecum, I think, because humans don't need it and don't produce cellulase. Yeah, so the cecum, the whole point of a cecum is for herbivores. So in herbivores, it's a pouch, right, that is located right at the tip of the large intestine. And the whole point of it is to help digest fiber, like fibrous material, which is present in plant matter, right? So organisms that are grass-eating herbivores, especially things like cows, sheep, maybe not pig, but cows and sheep, maybe even horses. These animals, they all have these cecums that have these bacteria in them that break down the cellulose that's in the plant material. But of course, humans, for two reasons. One, we're omnivores, so we don't only eat plants. And two, we cook our food. And when you cook vegetables, it breaks down the cellulose, and so you don't actually need bacteria to digest it as much. Ashi, okay, so it causes the ulcers just because of the infection and stuff, and while it hurts by doing that, it increases the pH, which is good, so removing it means the infection won't occur. But yeah, it's kind of an unfortunate catch-22, Ashi. It's like you don't want Helicobacter pylori too much because it can cause problems, but also if you get rid of it entirely, it can also cause issues. So as far as I'm aware, like Helicobacter pylori in low levels are okay and sometimes considered fine. But if they get to too high of levels, that's when it's an issue that need to be dealt with. Yeah, stomach ulcers are no fun. Stomach ulcers can even be deadly, you know? You have experience with stomach ulcers, Unagi? Gastric. We want gastric ulcers. Or peptic ulcers. Yeah, I've heard they're really, really bad. I've never had an issue with them either. Although I will say that one time I did have some really, really bad, what's the technical term for heartburn again? Gastric reflux. I remember there was a period of my, I don't remember when it happened, but it was, or no, actually I remember when it happened. When I went on like a backpacking trip to the UK. It must have been the UK. It was the UK. I went on a backpacking trip to the UK, and and I remember it was late at night, and I was just sort of like out and about on the town, and I bought this street food it was in Scotland. I bought this gyro that was like full of onions and spices and stuff, and I ate a huge amount of it. And then for like the rest of the trip, I had this terrible heartburn that would just creep up on me. And it was some of the worst pain I'd ever had. It was like debilitating. Like I couldn't really do anything. And it was all because of that one moment. It's gone now, luckily, but So ulcers can happen because of the acid or because of the bacteria. It is mainly acid in the stomach or bacteria in the offices of the small intestine. I think so, yeah. I think so, Ashi. T-Dub, that's like British, right? I was talking Scotland. You got a bit of Scottish accent. It's a lot more guttural. The British accent is a little bit more up here, a little bit higher. But Scottish accent is a little bit lower. I believe that it is the fact that the bacteria are burrowing into your mucus lining of your stomach. Yeah, because there's different causes, right, of ulcers. Like if we look up like ulcers and we look up causes, there's a bacterial cause, but then there's also other causes like stress-induced, diet-induced. Let's look at the causes. Yeah, see, okay, so Helicobacter pylori is one of the major causative factors of peptic ulcer disease. It secretes urease to create an alkaline environment, which is suitable for its survival. It expresses blood group antigens, which enable to attach. Wait, this reduction in acid production causes gastric ulcers. You hear a beeping noise, Nate? I don't hear it. This reduction in acid. This is this is a lot more complicated than I remember it being. Let's look up like a video maybe. Maybe there's a video that might show this a little bit better. Peptic ulcers and let's see if there's a video that has this explained that we can watch. This one maybe.
Armando Hasudungan, biology and medicine videos. Please make sure to subscribe. Join the forum group for the latest videos. Please visit Facebook Armando Hasudungan. In this video, we're going to look at Helicobacter pylori, the bacteria known to cause peptic ulcers as well as duodenal ulcers. Helicobacter pylori is a gram-negative rod bacteria. Here I'm drawing sort of simplified structure of the bacteria. H. pylori have flagella, which help in motility, in moving around. It also has DNA, which is circular within it.
Later, T-Dub.
Some important virulent factors that Helicobacter pylori possesses include lipopolysaccharides, which help in
Sounds good, my guy.
Adhering to
Get
cells.
your work done.
Another important virulent factor H. pylori have is an enzyme on the surface known as urease. Now, urease
There's the urease.
is very important in Helicobacter pylori survival. What urease does is that it converts urea and water to carbon dioxide and ammonia.
Okay,
And this
we know
is
this.
important, and we'll soon see why. But essentially, ammonia, which is NH3, is quite basic. So it's
Yep, that's what you
alkaline.
said, Unagi.
And then H. pylori can also secrete some exotoxins, such as VAC-A and CAG-A. VAC-A essentially causes apoptosis of cells. And then CAG-A is responsible for disrupting the cellular integrity and structure, and also promotes inflammation. If that doesn't all make sense, don't worry. Hopefully, we'll be able to understand it
How do people get so good at writing and drawing? Like, it's so satisfying to watch how good of a writing, like just the penmanship.
After going through this video.
I wish I could do that.
So H. pylori
So
is a
clean.
common cause of peptic ulcers and duodenal ulcers. Let's just have a look at the anatomy of the stomach briefly and the GIT. So here we have the stomach, and here we have the duodenum, which is the first part of the small intestine. The pylori sphincter here essentially is a barrier between the stomach and duodenum. Anyway, the stomach has a few parts to it. The fundus, which is the top, the cardia, which is essentially the first part where the esophagus meets the stomach, the body, and then we have the antrum. Now the antrum is the most important part here because the antrum is where H. pylori typically resides in. And actually 50% of people have H. pylori living inside them as commensals, you can say, commensal bacteria. So zooming into the antrum, the stomach, we can
So remember, when he says commensal, he means they're living in the organism, but they're not harming it. So the bacteria is getting a benefit, but the host, the human in this case, is not getting harmed. So it's not a parasitic relationship, but it's also not a mutualistic relationship. It's a commensalistic. It's a one-sided relationship with the other side having a neutral outcome. And that's 50% of the population.
see that the stomach cells are composed of columnar epithelial cells. And the columnar epithelial cells, they have between them junctions known as tight junctions. Above these columnar epithelial cells, we have a layer of mucus, which are produced by the goblet cells. And mucus is very important because it
Doesn't the bacteria cause the ulcers? I think in some cases it does. I would imagine that for most people, I'm sure he'll explain it. I mean, there's still 6 minutes left in the video, but I imagine what's gonna be is that the vast majority of people, they live with the bacteria in their stomach and it doesn't cause any problems and it's totally fine. But there's a subset of people that for whatever reason, the bacteria becomes a problem for them and causes ulcers. Maybe it's because of diet, maybe it's because of stress, maybe it's because the bacteria start to get overgrown or it transitions to something. We'll see.
acts as a barrier from the hydrochloric acid layer on top. And the hydrochloric acid is important to it in the digestion of food. The hydrochloric acid is produced by cells known as parietal cells. And of course, above this acidic layer, we have the lumen of the stomach. Residing within the lumen of the stomach, or just on top around here, we have
Welcome back,
bacteria
Emilian.
H. pylori. And they could
Did you figure out what school
be
you're going to go to and what you're going to
here
major in the
either
time you were
through
gone?
a infection, or they could just be there normally. Because
Okay, so there was the sentence, Ashi. There was the thing. I'll play it back real quick.
and they could be
Oh.
top around here. We have the bacteria H. pylori.
Okay, so it looks like the bacteria are hanging out above the layer of the cells. Like Unagi. Yeah, Unagi, you said, Unagi, I feel like you know more about this than I do. You're talking about how if they get down into the layers of the cells, the epithelial cells of the stomach, it's not so good. But if they're hanging out up here above, then maybe it's fine. You're getting mad at your new house because the electrical wiring is dumb and weird.
And they could be here either through a infection, or they could just be there normally, because as I mentioned, about 50% of people have H. pylori within their stomach. So just drawing this up, we can see that the pH decreases from the mucus layer up the top. So the acid layer, the hydrochloric acid layer, is the most acidic. So H. pylori, how does it survive in this acidic environment? You see in the stomach, you find the chemical urea. And H. pylori can...
Oh, yeah. Is it too quiet, Ashi? Can you not hear it? I can turn up the volume a little bit. I have it maxed out here. Oh, it's quiet? All right. This is a quiet video, I think.
Can convert urea to carbon dioxide and ammonia. H. pylori can do this because it has the enzyme urease, and urease converts urea and water to carbon dioxide and ammonia. And ammonia is sort of alkaline, so it sort of neutralizes the acidity there, and therefore the H. pylori is able to move down towards the cells of the stomach. And it can move down with the help of its flagella, which helps in motility. So two things it's doing. It is using its enzyme urease to make ammonia, which neutralizes the acidity, and the H. pylori is using the flagella to help it in moving down towards the stomach cells. Once it makes contact with the stomach cells, it can adhere to the stomach cells using lipopolysaccharide. And once H. pylori adheres to the stomach cells, it can secrete these dangerous exotoxins such as CAG-A and VAC-A. And as I mentioned, CAG-A disrupts cell integrity and essentially breaks down these tight junctions between the stomach cells. At the same time, CAG-A stimulates the production of certain cytokines within these cells. Cytokines such as interleukin 8. So what does interleukin 8 do? Well, interleukin 8 is sort of like a chemokine which attracts neutrophils into the area. And neutrophils are highly inflammatory and can...
You don't need to know. So Ashi, most of what is being shown in this video, you do not need to know. This is like a microbiology class, right? This is not an intro bio topic, right? Like you would learn this if you were in an undergraduate, maybe even like a graduate microbiology class, right? This is high level stuff. Or not high level. Well, I guess it depends on your perspective. It's decently high level stuff. All you need to know is that we're just trying to figure out the actual mechanism behind how ulcers are formed and the relationship between the Helicobacter pylori and the ulcers. And in order to really understand that relationship, you have to know the details and the nuance of the process. Emilian, that's really awesome that you're taking pictures of the sky. Do you have any pictures that you've taken that you're proud of that you could show me? If you do, put it in the you can join the Discord and send it to me. I'll take a look. You should be able to find the link to join the Discord in the bottom of the Twitch channel in the description. Oh, thanks, Sanjay. And Akash on top of it. Sanjay, we're just wondering when the Evo test scores will be released. They'll be released early next week. Probably on Tuesday next week. All right, so at this point, what we just to summarize where we're at with this, the Helicobacter pylori, you get an infection with it, or maybe you just have it normally in your stomach. It slowly makes its way through the acidic layer of your stomach by using this enzyme urease that decreases the acidity. It kind of burrows / swims its way down to the epithelial lining of your stomach. And there it binds to the cell and starts to release these what did he call it? What did he say? Like cytotoxic or something like that, molecules that then start to influence the epithelial cells and starts to disrupt the junctions between the cells, and also increases inflammation. So now you're getting white blood cells. All right, sounds good, Emilian. I'll take a look when you do that. It's over 50 megabytes? These must be some high def pics. All right. So yeah, and then this inflammation. So I can already kind of guess where we're headed here, right? If it's interfering with these tight junctions, my guess is that somehow the acidity is going to somehow leak down and start to destroy or dissolve the cells in the epithelial lining, which is going to cause the ulcer.
Damage, essentially, the stomach tissue. So interleukin-8 promotes inflammation. Now we have VAC-A. VAC-A essentially induces or causes apoptosis of the stomach cells. So the combination of CAG-A and VAC-A causes essentially just the breakage of the stomach cells. And this essentially allows the hydrochloric acid layer and mucus layer on top to basically come
1.9 gigabytes.
And as the hydrochloric acid layer comes in, it will damage and eat up the surrounding tissue. And this is how the ulcer is formed. It should be pointed out that the H. pylori infection in the stomach, which will promote inflammation, will actually result in a lot more hydrochloric acid being produced by the parietal cells. And this is because inflammation essentially promotes hydrochloric acid secretion in the stomach due to histamine, for example. And with so much...
Wait, but if it's not the bacteria itself, but rather the acid that the bacteria helps sort of get into the layer, why does it happen in the esophagus and small intestine? Good question. I don't know. Maybe he'll talk about it a little bit. Maybe Helicobacter pylori can be in other places other than the stomach.
Hydrochloric acid being produced by the stomach, the hydrochloric acid can actually enter the duodenum, which is normally basic.
Oh, there you go.
And so this H. pylori infection can result in a duodenal ulcer as well.
A duodenal is the beginning of the small intestine. So that explains how it can affect the small intestine, because you have more acid production that's now leaking into the small intestine from the stomach and causing ulcers there, where you're not supposed to have any acid at that point. Make a sense?
Well, I hope this makes sense.
I mean,
so I hope that made sense. Now, to diagnose a H. pylori ulcer, we use a urea breath test. A urea breath test is essentially when a urea chemical is tagged. The carbon of the urea chemical is tagged. And then the person eats the urea, and then so the urea sample will go down to the stomach where maybe the H. pylori is. If the H. pylori is there, the urea with water will be converted to carbon dioxide and ammonia. And then this carbon dioxide will actually have that chemical tagged on the carbon. The carbon dioxide will then leave the stomach to the bloodstream. The carbon dioxide will travel up to the heart.
That's
and
crazy.
The heart will pump the blood with this chemically tagged carbon dioxide to the lungs. And then the carbon dioxide will be exhaled out. And so the presence of a chemically tagged carbon dioxide will indicate that it is a H. pylori infection.
That's an insane way to test it. That's really cool. That how they test it. That's insane. That's wild. That's an interesting, very interesting thing.
Of a chemically tagged carbon dioxide.
All right, and I think esophageal ulcers are slightly maybe a different cause than Helicobacter pylori. But I mean, either way, this was a really good video. Give it a like. What is this? This guy does some good videos. I want to see what else he has. Dang, this guy's got a ton of videos. What up, Siddharth? How goes it? What's up, DJ? All right, Emilian, you tagged in the Discord. Let me take a look. So you took this one, so tell us what we're looking at here. What are we looking at, Emilian, if I zoom in on this thing? Whoa. So what are we looking at? Is there anything? It looks like what we care about is this thing. The big circular thing is Orion's Nebula. So right here, this is Orion's Nebula. That's crazy. So how far away is Orion's Nebula? Is this where Orion's belt is? Wait, can you see Orion's belt? Is it like the 3 stars in a row? And the thing above it is Running Man's Nebula. Running Man's Nebula. This little one above it? Or are you talking about this guy over here? That little gas cloud of whatever. Oh, wait, is that Orion's belt right there? Boom, 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 right? Dude, Orion's belt has never looked better. When I was younger, Orion's belt used to be my favorite thing because it was so easy to find. It was just like 3 stars, perfectly spaced. Ashi, would it be like the same thing as heartburn in a sense? Like that's how the acid can get into the esophagus? That's my guess. I think when it's in the esophagus, it's not as much due to bacteria. It's probably due to like overeating or the esophageal sphincter, which is the circular muscle at the top of the stomach that opens and closes, can be a little bit loose or can get paralyzed. And then acid can kind of leak upwards, can kind of infiltrate into the esophagus. Could be due to diet, could be due to stress. I would imagine that heartburn is much more due to lifestyle, than other kinds of ulcers are. So just to clarify, DJ, the bacteria Helicobacter pylori breaks through the stomach lining and can cause an ulcer. But ulcers caused by hydrochloric acid are different than those caused by the bacteria. No, not really. So the bacteria. So the bacteria, as far as what the video was showing us,
will indicate.
Like this is the picture
so
here.
Much hydrochloric.
So what happens is that the hold on, let's go. Oopsie. Yeah. So what you're looking at here, right, is the bacteria, the Helicobacter pylori. The process of it burrowing its way down to the stomach cells does a couple things. One is it releases some problematic compounds that can actually like destroy the cells, which then allows like acid to leak in, and the acid can cause the ulcer leaking in on top of the damage caused by the cells, the bacteria cells. All right, and then what else do we see here? And to the left, that star, there's 2 nebulas. The orangest one, and where you see the little red, there's another smaller black thing, and that's the Horsehead Nebula. Another smaller black thing, the Horsehead. Right there? Is that what you're talking about? That's the Horsehead Nebula? That's the flame. This is the nebula? A black thing protruding to the right. This right here? That's the Horsehead Nebula. Wow, okay. What if I look up... So this is what you got a picture of? Wait, how did they get these pictures? Like these insane pictures? Wait, is this what you have? So what I'm looking at right here... Is this right here? Is this the far left Orion star right here? And so what you took a picture of is this red thing and then this orange thing. And then that's the Horsehead Nebula. So when we look at your picture, oops, we're seeing there's the star, there's the star, there's the flame, and that's the flame. Wow, you really did. That's awesome. And then there's the red part that you got too. That's pretty crazy. Well, they have telescopes past Earth's atmosphere and they have insane focal length. Yeah, some of the pictures they get are pretty wild. But that's pretty cool that you got a picture of that exact same thing that people are able to get. Yours isn't the best because it was limited due to your gear, but when the weather clears up, we're going to go back and take an even better one. Nice. Well, if you get a better one, send it. I want to take a look. These are actually like, it's really cool that you like walked me through this, because now when I see, because you always see pictures of the Horsehead Nebula, you always hear about it, right? Actually, hold on. Like you always see people talking about like something like this. So what is the Horsehead Nebula? Is it literally just like a gas cloud? Like a gas formation? It's just like a puff of gas of some kind? This looks fake. Is this real? Maybe it's real. I don't know. It's real? I can see ya. That's pretty nice, dude. Pretty good stuff. That, what if it looked like that? What if we looked through a telescope and this is actually what we saw? We were like, what the heck? It's the horse god. His luscious locks looking down on us from above. And his pupil is one of Orion's stars. Actually, that's the Orion star right there, probably. Nice. Well, thanks for sharing that, Emilian. That looked really cool. Appreciate it. What else did you send? Oh, you got this is the Andromeda Galaxy. But you said this was a little grainy because of the gear you had at the time. Thanks for the follow, Mr. Junie. Hold on. Andromeda Galaxy. Wow. That's kind of wild, man. I understand why you're interested in astrophotography. So this is this essentially. Oh yeah, I can see that. This little flare down here, this little flare here, is that thing right there. Got some of these stars. Well, keep it up. Keep it up. Some good stuff. Mr. Chang, you just bit your lip. That's unfortunate. Don't you hate it when you almost stumble accidentally into cannibalism? All right, any other questions about stomach ulcers and Helicobacter pylori and anything related to that stuff? I'm gonna subscribe to this guy, Armando Hasudungan. Good video. This is a great video. It was 9 minutes and we got to the bottom of exactly what we needed to. And he's great at drawing. I wish I could draw like that. I wish I could do my video lectures like that. Just hand draw it. Hire an artist while I do voiceover. Why wouldn't I just hire? I guess I could do the voiceover. Ashi, what about the pancreas? Would the pancreas be the place where the second most chemical digestion takes place? No. There's no digestion taking place in the pancreas. The pancreas is a peripheral organ that secretes digestive enzymes into the small intestine. So the small intestine is where the vast majority of chemical digestion is occurring. But the pancreas secretes enzymes and other substances into the small intestine where it will do some of the digestion. But the small intestine doesn't actually have any food or digesting material pass through it. It's a separate little organ that is not part of the digestive tract. It's a peripheral or accessory organ. If you look at like a digestive tract diagram, they oftentimes will include the pancreas in these. Yeah, see, so when you eat food, obviously it goes into your mouth, it passes through, you swallow it, it goes down your esophagus, into your stomach. From the stomach, it goes through into the small intestine, which is the purple. It zooms around the small intestine for a long time, right? And then it goes into the large intestine, where it goes up, around, down, over, and then into the rectum, and then poops out. Now, the accessory organs are things like salivary glands up here that secrete saliva that helps digestion in the mouth. You've got the liver, you've got the gallbladder, which are helping with bile, which are secreted into the small intestine, where they help with the breaking up of fats and lipids. And then you have the pancreas, which is sitting right here behind everything, like deeper into the abdominal cavity, behind the stomach, that secretes digestive enzymes and things like sodium bicarbonate into the small intestine as well to help with digestion. Yep, exactly, dumb joke. Now, of course, if we were in person learning this year, we would have done a dissection of a fetal pig where we would have seen all of these organs. We would have opened up the abdominal cavity of the fetal pig, and we would have looked at the liver. We would have looked at the stomach, the pancreas, the gallbladder, the intestines. We would have seen all of this stuff. We wouldn't see the salivary glands, though. Those are hard to get to because they're like deep in the head, and it's not an easy dissection. So we just kind of ignore those. Does the liver store bile directly into the gallbladder where it is deposited into the small intestine, or is it only excess bile that is kept into? Is it only excess bile that is kept in the gallbladder? I'm pretty sure that the liver can secrete directly into the small intestine as well as the gallbladder. I think the gallbladder stores excess bile, but most of the bile is secreted from the gallbladder into the liver. And the reason for that is because, like, let's say you eat a meal that's like a high fat meal. You need a lot of bile to emulsify that fat so it's easily digested. And the liver doesn't have a place to store, all that bile. And it would take too long for the liver to produce enough bile to like help with the digestive process. So you have like a pouch that stores a bunch of bile so that when you have that meal, it can just immediately dump a bunch in and help with the digestion. You didn't get to dissect the fetal pig, Emilian? Yeah. So you were because, wait, Emilian, what year were you? Were you last year? Because last year we did do 1 day of dissection before schools were shut down. We did do 1 day though. Gina, the smell was very bad. Yeah, the smell is pretty rough. I will give you that. It's not the best smell. Did we still show the videos? No, we did not. Because there's no point in showing the videos, to be honest. Like, if you're not going to do the dissection, it doesn't really, I mean, it might help a little bit to see it, but if you're going to show videos, you might as well show videos of like human organs than fetal pig ones, right? Because it's more realistic to the human body. You prepped the pig and did nothing else. Oh, yeah, maybe you're right. I think you're right. You got so close. You were 1 day away. 1 day away from it. Curious to see how this works. Oh, wait. DJ, I was wrong. My bad. It says the bile produced by the liver flows directly into the small intestine during a meal. Between meals, when there's no fat that needs to be digested, most of the bile flows into the gallbladder instead, where it is concentrated and stored. The gallbladder usually holds about 30 to 80 milliliters of fluid. When we eat fatty foods, the gallbladder contracts and squeezes bile through the bile duct. The bile is mixed into the semi-digested food in the small intestine. I guess that's what I said, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, oh yeah, I think, Akash, I think you're right. I think there was like one period where it had gotten a little further than another period. So I think one period did get to that first incision, but another period didn't. Have I looked into TFT? What's TFT, Gina? TFT? All right, Emilian. Feel free to stop by anytime. I stream on Twitch pretty much every night from about 7-ish to 9:30. Wednesdays, like right now, are just strictly office hours, but the other days are more chill, like playing Minecraft. We have a Minecraft SMP server. Yeah, we just kind of hang out. So feel free to stop by. Show me more of your pics that you take of the night sky. Oh, Team Fight Tactics. That's right. That's right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Were you the one that was telling me about Team Fight Tactics? I think you were telling it with me on YouTube, which is why I don't recognize your username. All right. Later, Emilian. Let me see. So in order to play Teamfight Tactics, I need to download League of Legends, huh? All right. So I'm looking at the yeah, I can tell. I'm looking at the download for it, and it's like a 10 gigabyte download. It's kind of beefy. Maybe I should try get into Hearthstone Battlegrounds instead. I've played Hearthstone, but I'm not 100% sure of Hearthstone Battlegrounds. Never heard of it. Is it like a spin-off or a version of it? So, have you guys anyone heard of Hikomori in the chat that's watching? Hikomori? Or no, it's not Hikomori. What is it? Hikikomori? Hikikomori? It's Roughly, how are the tests going to be spread out for physiology? You said it'd be 2 quizzes and a test. So is it 1 quiz at the end of each row of the kudos? Yeah, so I think if you look at... Let me pull up Schoology real quick. Unit 5, physiology. If you look at the kudos... So we're going to have a quiz on row 1. And that's going to be basically digestive system, endocrine system, and like nutrition stuff. And that's going to probably end up being on like March 25th. Probably like 2 weeks after the start. And then there's going to be one probably on respiratory, circulatory, and immune. And then one on excretory and reproductive together. And then the last column here, 3C and 3D. This is our like sexual health and sexual education stuff. So it's about more of like, it's like a mix of different things. It includes stuff like some of the basic sex ed stuff, like contraception. It includes like a little bit of like STIs and STDs, talks a little bit about, but we also get into like healthy relationships, these kinds of things. That's going to be its own little standalone thing where there'll be a quiz on that. Exactly. Yes, Gina. Hikikomori. You watched a video on it. Yeah, it's fat. For some reason, I'm very fascinated with Japanese culture because even though I've been to Japan once, but it's just so different than what I'm used to that I'm always intrigued by it. And this culture is very interesting. So if you haven't heard of hikikomori, it's basically this idea of acute social withdrawal, right? So basically it's total withdrawal from society and seeking extreme degrees of social isolation and confinement. Hikikomori refers to both the phenomenon in general and the recluses themselves. Hikikomori have been described as loners or modern-day hermits. Estimates suggest that 500,000 Japanese youths have become social recluses, as well as more than 500,000 middle-aged individuals. So you have like millions of people living as social hermits, where they just sort of live by, and they don't have any social interaction, and they live just kind of in their own confines of their apartment or house or something. It's very interesting. What's the video, Gina? What video did you watch? Can you link it to me? I'd be curious to see if it's something I'd be interested in watching. I think a lot of it has to do with technology, right? Video games, being able to completely entertain yourself, like by yourself. Unagi, do I remember when you got famous on Reddit or hit the Reddit front page? Yeah, if you look at, I do remember. That was like in 2018 or 2017, I want to say. Oh, I'm dropping frames right now, you guys. Sorry. And this thing's because I'm trying to download something. Okay, I shouldn't be dropping any more frames anymore. Do you remember when I got famous? Yeah, Mr. Chang, you remember? You were there. You remember? Gina, you're never like Pavlov's dog. That's like you with League of Legends sounds. Did you just start drooling all of a sudden when you heard that sound, like uncontrollably, just so ingrained? You've been so trained for it. I will complete it when I'm just looking at the install. Respect protect myself and my community. Wow, very interesting. So is it because League of Legends is known to have such a toxic community that they have this code of conduct at the start? This thing, right? I will compete to win and will support my teammate. I will respect my teammates, protect myself and my community, be my own last line of defense. I agree. Team fight tactics. Eight-player free-for-all, team fight tactics. New mission. Got it. What is this? Downloading the game. Probably going to drop frames right now, you guys. One sec. It's going to take a little while. It says 24 minutes is the ETA on it. I'm going to minimize this for now. So this is the hikikomori, a day in the life of a Japanese hikikomori.
This is Nito, a Japanese man living in Kobe. For the last 10 years, he has spent nearly 24/7 in his apartment. In Japan, he is known as a hikikomori, a social phenomenon where an individual seeks extreme isolation, and today, he's allowed us to take an unfiltered look into his daily life.
Good morning, everyone.
Unlike most Japanese people who are rushing to work around 6:30 a.m., his morning is quite relaxing. But you might be surprised to learn that Nito is not lazy. In fact, for the past 3 years, he has been developing a video game. Nito starts his day off with breakfast. It consists of cheese toast, yogurt milk, and some fruit. This is the same breakfast he's had every day for the past 10 years.
Jeez.
Yeah. I'm eating my meal on my chair.
Dude, you see how scuffed his armrest is on that chair? Look at that. You could totally tell that he is, wait, does that mean he is right-handed? Because he leans on the left armrest with his left, like he's leaning on it with his left. That tape is so yellow. Look how old that tape is.
Meal on my chair. Because while I'm eating meal, I can browse internet. Yeah. That's it. It's too hard while shooting and eating.
It's estimated that over 1 million people in Japan currently isolate themselves like Nito, and experts on this matter are projecting that this number will approach 10 million in the near future, a whopping 10% of Japan's entire population. It's not easy to understand why someone would choose to live this way, but what better way to find out than ask Nito himself? Nito, take us back about 10 years. You graduated from the University of Tokyo. What was the job searching process like?
I like documentaries, so I applied to TV stations and productions. I have generally disliked Japanese working culture and relationships in the workplace. I had a sense of anxiety while I was searching for the job, so I didn't take it too seriously when I wasn't accepted by these companies.
Do you feel like once you've passed that initial job search period that you've lost the opportunity to get a good job in Japan?
Yeah, I think so. One of my uni senpai couldn't land a job he preferred, so he stayed in school another year and got accepted by a good company.
And when you decided you were done job hunting, what was your next step?
I believed that creative writing was my calling. I was thinking like,
So, yeah, DJ, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not good for your mental health. I mean, for the most part, like, we know that humans are social creatures and that, like, a big part of human happiness and human, like, sense of meaning and purpose comes from social relationships. So when you isolate yourself, you're probably missing out on that. But it's clear that people can do it and survive, right? Like, you can get used to it. You can adapt to it. Arya, they probably experienced something that made them isolate themselves. I don't know. It's different for everyone. Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, a lot of people have different temperaments, right? Like, some people cannot be alone. Like, if you're an introvert or extrovert. So for me, I am much more introverted than I am extroverted. So when I was younger, I was very content just to stay at home and play video games and just chill by myself, and not be super, super social. But there is a part of me that is social too. So, but I can imagine if you're just on the very far end of one extreme of like introversion, and it could be like introversion combined with something like anxiety, combined with something like some past maybe trauma or something that happened in your life that you had really negative experiences with socialization. Like, you could probably imagine all those things together would put somebody in a position where they just feel more comfortable being by themselves all the time. So the question is that a bad thing? Well, it would depend. I mean, if the person is happy, satisfied, and healthy, then who's to say it's a bad thing? Like, it seems totally fine. Now, of course, if the person is depressed, if their health is going down, then that's another story,
okay, I failed to land a good job, but instead I can experience a variety of work and can use it as my writing resource. I was going to quit my job when I can live on my writing anyway. I was arrogant and stupid. I was getting to realize that what I want to write was not what the marketplace wanted to read. I tried to expand myself to fit in the market demand, but I was not that talented. I wrote up a novel that I simply expressed my taste there and ignored the market. Then finally I accepted I couldn't live off my writings, at least at the moment. But I wanted to live on my creation no matter what. Doujin seemed to be a reasonable choice from my eyes.
Doujin means independent distribution, and comes in many varieties with people creating games, animations, and manga. Due to the low volume of production, when these works become popular, they can also become quite valuable. In typical Japanese humility, Nito claims he is not good at drawing, but looking at his work, I think most people would feel differently.
Dude, that's really good. What is he talking about?
戸を始める動きがあった方がいいよね。
After breakfast, Nito sits at the computer, where he will spend most of his day. He starts off by reading the news, picking up some tidbits from Reddit's game development forum, and checking emails. And when you decided to be a Dojin, that's when you moved into your current apartment?
Yes, I started learning how to draw in my old room. I had no friends in my hometown.
I'm assuming he earns money
and
from his
rushed to
comics, from
become
his drawing and
financially
writing.
independent as soon as possible. Feeling ashamed to go outside, so I became a hikikomori. That was 10 years ago.
What kind of work were you creating as a Dojin?
I'm a bit embarrassed to say this, but 80% of professional doujin creators are making porn. In Japan, porn creators are relatively accepted or simply overlooked. That's what I was doing as well.
Oh wow! So he's
Is
drawing
that
porn.
due to high demand?
Yes,
Jeez.
being in the otaku market, drawing cute girls is a must. And being able to draw cute girls gives you more opportunities in the market. It's also a great way to train your drawing skill.
That makes sense. Did you have any success there?
I published 2 books through an online distributor. My first was in 2014 and my second in 2015. Combining both, I sold a total of 2,000 copies and earned a net revenue of 930,000 yen so far.
Do you feel like if you kept going with drawing that you could have made a living from it?
Maybe, but simply put, drawing porn is not fun for me. I can't find the meaning of life there. Also, my second book didn't sell as well, so I didn't want to keep going. Around that time, Unreal Engine became free to use and I decided game development may be the last chance for my life. Now, years later, I am getting close to finishing my first commercial game full stay.
Nito begins work on his game in the afternoon. He codes using the Unreal Engine, one of the biggest game engines used to develop for AAA game titles. His game title, Polstay, is a literal translation of Hikikomori. The game is an old-school beat-em-up brawler, centered around a Hikikomori named Susumu. The enemies are other members of society who are worried about him, want to mock him, or just want to see a Hikikomori in the wild. And in my opinion, looks pretty fun.
Heck kind of game is this? Wait, it's literally just beating people up? That's the entire game? Watermelon. I should stream this game. Is this even on Steam? Was it called Pull? What was it called? Pull Stay? Oh, it's not released till next year. I mean, I bet this game got way more hype after this documentary. How many? Yeah, look, this got This had 5 million views, almost 6 million views, 5.7 million. There's no this. Yeah, and they linked they linked his Kickstarter here. What's his Kickstarter? Yeah, 1,300 backers have pledged 3.6 million yen, which is how much? What's that translation? What's the translation? Maybe 3,800,000. 35 grand. So people that got him 35 grand, that's a pretty good amount of money. That said 2020, but it was delayed by 2 years. Or by, 2 years.
After knocking out some work, Nito takes a break for lunch. Not being much of a cook, Nito usually sticks to frozen, retort packaged, or canned foods. He boils vegetables.
Should definitely use some of that 35 grand to just maybe get a new arm rest, buddy. You can do it.
Every day and has half at
Or maybe a table to eat on.
lunch and half
He's like, I use this chair for literally everything.
dinner.
I'm now talking with BBC Click team, so I'm watching their video and prepare for their interview.
We've been close to for long enough to catch coronavirus.
How long have you been creating the games now?
I started developing games about 5 years ago.
Tell us about some of the challenges you faced along the way.
Well, my English was not great, so I couldn't write my game story in English. Also, all development guides are written in English, so I needed to improve my skill. That was my biggest challenge to overcome.
Developing games, particularly with the 3D graphics, has to be a lot more difficult than writing or drawing. So what is it that kept you focused and motivated over the past 5 years?
Yeah, it's certainly difficult and challenging, but I see it's rewarding a lot. You can tackle the new challenge and create your own artwork. That's what I want to spend my lifetime on. And also, I have no escape anymore elsewhere. Game development is a final result of mine.
なんで俺ああなんで俺
Wow, like you could tell that that's just where he lives his whole life, right? Because he just wears everything is worn down, like the carpet, the armrest.
Looking at Nito's day, it's a bit hard to compare him to most hikikomori. The stereotype is someone who doesn't work at all and their parents take care of them, while they lay about consuming media. While his life is not socially accepted, I do admire the number of skills he's built up entirely on his own volition.
Talk down to 何々になります。
This is today's my snack. Sorry for eating snack despite I'm hikikomori. This is a raisin dipped in water, so it's soft and sweet. You can try it. And eclair. Yeah, that's it.
If the game is successful, what you wanna do next?
I'd love to travel around the world and meet game devs there. I have a couple of game ideas I want to make. These ideas require support from other people, such as a programmer and an artist. So I want to make connections with talented people and build a little dev team.
Not to jinx you, but what if it's not successful? Do you have a backup plan?
I will use BlueStay as my portfolio and try to find a job. Preferably remote freelance job.
Can people play your game right now?
Yes, you can download the demo from my site.
When are you planning to do a final release, and how can people stay up to date with your game?
I'm aiming for Q1 2021 to release BlueStay on PC. If it sells well, I will try to port the game to consoles. You can check my latest development on my Twitter.
Nito,
Okay. All right. I'm going to try to play one game before I go. So. Wait, is there practice? Co-op versus AI. Training. Tutorial. I'm doing tutorial because oh no. Oh, I'll pull Jameson out. Yeah, I'll get Jameson out here. Wait, did I just start League of Legends? Accidentally? Oh no. This is not what I wanted to start. Well, looks like we're playing League of Legends, everybody. Accidentally. Wait, how do you play League of Legends again? Oh, you click to move. Wait, alright, no, we're not playing League of Legends. We're not. You may be temporarily banned?
Attack the training minions
How
by
you can't
right-clicking
ban
on them
me.
once.
How can you ban me from the tutorial, from leaving the tutorial? How dare you? Wait, okay, hold on. How do I get out of here? No, not start now. Leave. Okay. Play. Team fight tactics. Normal. Normal. There's no tutorial for it? Well, you're going to watch me take a big L here. Welcome to Team Fight Tactics. Teamfight Tactics is a free-for-all drafting tactics game in which you recruit powerful champions, deploy them, and battle to become the last player standing. Here's a quick guide. Recruit. Choose a champion from the store and recruit them with gold. Then drag them from the bench to the battlefield to deploy them. Combine 3 of the same champion to create a stronger 2-star version of the champion. Deploy. Champions have traits and earn bonuses when deployed with other champs. They share those traits. Positioning matters. Experiment with different layouts to find the best results. Battle. Each round, your team teleports to an enemy's arena or vice versa. Champions fight automatically, and if your team is defeated, your little legend takes damage. When your little legend's health reaches 0, you're out of the game. Got it. So wait, how does this work? So I just click, just find match. Your party is open. Friends can join anytime. Find match. Little legend. Okay, I haven't unlocked these things. Arena skin. Boom. Okay, got it. So just do it, I guess. Chaos. I don't know. They convinced me because I had nothing else to do before I called it a night. So I figured I'd try. Yeah, that's what I figured. They earn their money through their skins. What the heck? Thought I already accepted. What's happening? I'm assuming it's going to place me with other people that aren't experienced. Is that I can imagine everyone who has this river spirit icon is probably inexperienced because they haven't upgraded their avatar or their icon or whatever. Unagi, is that a joke? Is that a joke? Gotta adjust the video. Full screen, graphics. We can go high. Let's pull the sound down a little bit. Go 20. Let's go okay. All right, so what do we do here? Hold on, video, this gotta be windowed. So I can actually see what's going on here. Go like 30, 40. All right, so there's my guy. This is my guy. Where do I? What's that? What's this? What's that? What's the question mark? Do I want that question mark? So wait, everybody that appears on this are all the other 8 players? Right click. Wait, do I want to attack with this guy? Or do I want to grab this? Got it, got it. Okay. I got Giant's Belt. Right click for recipes. What is this? 1 out of 3. I mean, they should really have a tutorial, right? I mean, there's so many options on this menu. Like, there's no way. Where do you buy stuff, though? Just put stuff on the board. It won't let me. You can't exceed the maximum team size to buy XP. The shop button at the bottom. Buy XP? And I can put him on there? Oh, I see. I buy... I should watch some YouTube guides. That probably doesn't make sense. Gatozo. I'm getting destroyed. Just left click on the Yasuo. Yeah, what's the Yasuo? The Yasuo. This one? Okay, got the Yasuo. Put him in. I can't. I need to buy XP. Put him in. No, he can't go in. Not quite. Erebus. Why am I playing TFT? Because someone recommended it. My thoughts on it? I have no thoughts. I have no idea what's going on. There's just too much stuff to do. Too many options. I don't know what any of these numbers mean. I literally have no idea what this is on the side. These are people's health, I can tell. I'm losing. I'm at 86 compared to everybody. This, don't know what this means. It's like a map of some kind. Maybe I want him in for him. These are traits for my character. When you get multiple characters, you get those traits. Oh, okay. Right now I have Exile unlocked. The heck is going on? What is this? What do you do? Oh, you grab something and bring it back? I have no idea what the heck is happening right now. Okay. So I got a character from that. Okay. Wait, this one looks good, right? He's got like a glowy thing on him. Get in there. I got you. Get in there. Buy XP. Get in there. Oh, I can't. This guy looks better than that guy. Vanguard is unlocked. Oh, 5 out of 5, okay. Should see level 5 and then 8 out of 20. I see level 5, 10 out of 20. That means you need to spend 12 goals to get to level 6. Oh, I see. Got it. Do you always want these double star ones?
Let's show our friends the door.
Oh, wait. When I buy a double star one, does that mean it's upgrading the one I currently have to like a better version? So it's not actually giving me another character, it's just upgrading the one that I already have. 3 level 1 combined to level 2. Okay. You need a total of 9 level 1 characters to get to level 3. Okay. All right. Buy XP. Level 6. So PvE round. Alright. While this is going, I'm going to let my puppy out real quick. I'll be right back.
Justice, by law or by soul.
So maybe grab that, grab that. Chain vest. Oof, I'm gonna lose this battle, huh? Actually, no, I think I might win this one. Dead Fishy Boy. This is the most complicated chess game of chess you've ever seen. Is it actually like chess? Actually, I'm getting killed. I'm losing. I thought I was gonna win, but I ended up losing. I lost. All right, Tryndamere. Wait, if you already, like, let me guess. If you already know League of Legends characters or heroes, then you probably know what all these who these are, right? Like Cho'Gath, Brand, Tryndamere, Tristana. Get the Tryndameres. Combine them. How do you combine? Oh, he looks good. That looks good. He looks good. Get on the match. This is kind of RNG Appa. I need one more to get. Oh, right. I need one more Tryndamere. Got it. Because you need 3. What? How do I know what characters I have? Like, when you hover over them, it doesn't tell you their name. Oh, there, you gotta right click. Nautilus. Ooh, I get a Nautilus. What's her name? Lulu. Cyber. Teemo. Garen. Tryndamere. Yeah. Try to match traits. All right, be right back. Alright, put the Garen back in. I have my Garen in. I don't know what to do at this point. I've maxed out my slots here. Probably should sell. Not to Nasus. You'll try to match traits, you were saying? So right now I have 3 Warlord and 3 Vanguard. Wow, I just dominated this person. Pika Long. Pika Long is above me.
Never stood a chance.
I want to sell stuff, huh? What is this one? I don't need this. Get that V. What's up, buddy? Ooh, I barely beat this one.
Justice, by law or by sword.
Alright, so I want the Garen, because I have a Garen, right? Right? I probably want the Garen, right? Is my guess. Because you want to keep getting ones that you have.
I stand ready.
Yeah, but can't you get it to level 3? Or no? Should I sell it? I thought you could get it to level 3 or something. Buddy. Yeah. You need 5 more. Oh, okay, got it. Because I got one here.
I stand ready. I will fight as long as I stand.
And now I just need one more, right? Oops. Because I've got 4 Garens. Or you mean like I need, maybe I need, wait. Oh, because you need 3 level 2s to get to a level 3, right? So that would mean you'd need a total of 9 Garens, that's right? I got wrecked by this guy. Nasus. Going to level 7. How do I use it? Equip it to somebody? I don't know how to even use it. Just do it to somebody? Drag it over somebody. So if I give it to this Garen, it doesn't seem to do anything. Well, I got really destroyed by Pontus June. So if I drag an item over somebody, let's see. So chain vest. Let's say if I put it on Garen. Got it. Needlessly large rod. Okay. Put it on spell power. Who's got spells? V. Mana. I'll give it you. Giant's belt. Probably Garen. Chain vest. Go to this big old dude. Mana. Go to... Giant's belt. Go to Garen. Baby, that shit. This guy is way up here. This guy's at the top. This person's gonna beat me because they're... Wait. Wait, am I gonna beat the #1 placed guy? Oh, wait. This thing revived? Nice. Wait, who do I want? Wait, who do I want? Wait, who are these guys? I can't remember. They don't have the names on there. This guy? I just think he looks like somebody I have, but I could be wrong. I may have messed up. I thought this one looked like the... yeah, I thought that looked like somebody I had, but I don't think so, actually, now that I think about it. Wait, where should I put my cam in this game? Where's the least annoying place to put my cam? Like down in here? Somewhere down here, maybe? Just in the corner? Oh wow, I got destroyed by a lot. That dragon looks pretty good. Oh, Yasu. 2-star Yasu. Cho'Gath. No, wait, Cho'Gath? Wait, is that a Cho'Gath? No, Nautilus, Braum, Garen, V, Pike, Sivir, Tryndamere. Wait, should I have all my Tryndameres on there? Oh, bye, Ashi. Oh, didn't you want to see I'll show you. You wanted to see the boy, the baby boy. Yeah, buddy. Maybe replace the Sivir with Nautilus. Yeah. Okay. There you go. There's your Jameson, your dose of Jameson. All right, he's getting a little finicky. He wants to come down. Yeah, buddy. I'm gonna come play with you in a sec. I'm almost done. Wait, do I want another Yasu? Probably not, huh? At this point. Maybe a Nasus, because I... Okay, you don't put the same character on the board twice. Got it. I have 2 Nasuses.
Justice, by law or by soul.
Bye, Arya. Bye, Ashi. Have a good night. Put the Nautilus on there. Okay. So I'm looking for a Nautilus and a Nasus. But I'm about to die. 11. I can't get last. Nautilus. Ugh. They don't give you that much time, really, do they? To think through some of this stuff. This might be the end of me here. This is the end of me, I believe. Death. 7th place. Hey, at least I didn't get last place, you know? Wow, that guy had a 3-star, Moki. I bet I could do this game better next time. Like, now that I kind of get the gist of it, if I start from the beginning, I bet I would have a better idea of what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Hey. All right. I'm going to call it a night, though. Thanks for the tutorial on the game. And I'll think about maybe playing some more of this later. All right, everybody. All right, everybody, have a good night. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.